At some point in our lives, we'll all be faced with the question, what do you want to do when you get older? What do you want to study when you go to college? Where do you want to work at? And to be quite frankly, I don't know. We don't know. Precisely at this moment is one of the first times when we really start to think for the first time, what is it that we want to do when we get older? But we don't really come up with a conclusion because after all, how should we know at such a young age? Like, how should I know what I want to do when I get older for the rest of my life when I'm only like 15 or 16, 18 or 20 years old, or even 30 for that matter? How are you supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of your life? And you know, the future is uncertain. You never know what's going to happen in the future. You never know what you're going to be introduced to. And so it can be very difficult to make a choice as to what you want to do in the future.
Oh my God.
And that's precisely why I wanted to have this conversation. Coming from a family who immigrated to the US, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of things in America, or America itself. And this is probably true for many of you guys. Because of this, I thought I'd talk a little bit more about my own experience going through engineering school and wanting to pursue a career in art at the same time. Literally my whole life, I've been thinking about what I should be doing, and it's always been black and white. It's never been like RGB. It's never been all the colors. And what I mean by this, it's like, it's always been, you're either gonna do photography or you're gonna do video, but you can never do both. And so every semester when it was like summer vacation, I would do photography, and then the semester I would cut it off and then just work on school and cut it off and then just do photography, etc. And that cycle went through all my college experience. Some people, they've already known what they wanted to do their whole life, but that clearly was not the case for me. I'm gonna be diving deep into what is engineering, what is it like being a student, then diving a little bit more into what was it like being an artist, or you know, taking pictures or photos being an artist. And then I'm finally gonna give my final thoughts and compare the both, and I'm kind of hoping that you get something out of this. If you're in a similar situation where you want to do engineering but you also like photography and video, and if you find yourself in the same situation as me, I kind of looked online and didn't really find any resources on that, so I wanted to come here and talk a little bit about my own experience. Engineering school, to say the very least, was a very rewarding experience. It's really different from other majors in that you're mostly learning about the physical world and all the mechanics and how it works. This is mainly taught through your basic physics, chemistry, math, and programming courses, which all comes together in your junior year when you're finally exposed to more complicated topics like fluid dynamics, thermodynamics, heat transfer, and higher level math courses that really build up on everything that you've previously learned. Now, I know you must be thinking, Kevin, okay, like, we all know that, but what is it that you actually do? Like, what do you actually do? What's a typical day for you? And this is probably the love type hate relationship that a lot of people have with engineering. And I say this because some people actually enjoy this part, and that's study. There's a lot of time spent behind a computer and working on problem sets, reading the textbook, and really studying and learning new material. And you will have a lot of endless nights studying, which can make you a bit introverted if you don't really put a large effort into trying to have a social life. And when your time is constantly consumed by all this material, all this stress of grades and studying, schoolwork, it can be very easy to find yourself becoming super introverted. Overall, you'll spend a lot of time learning interesting topics, but I think TV and media have a way of portraying engineering as like super exciting and super crazy. And while all that stuff is super exciting, you don't really get to see a lot of that exciting stuff until you get into the higher levels of engineering, once you know the basic core concepts of engineering. And getting to those levels of engineering can be a little difficult because learning those core principles is really the toughest part of engineering. Learning physics for the first time can be a little difficult because it's the first time that you're thinking different than any other course that you previously had, where you just had to memorize things. And don't get me wrong, I really like to study and learn new things, but sometimes professors can bombard you with exams, homework, all at the same time, and this can be for a period of weeks or months. And I'm talking about finals week, where professors just decide to give you all the homework that they can. It's literally a 15-week battle to actively perform your best. And this can be kind of crazy when professors give you insanely super duper hard exams that really make you question your abilities to learn and your life decisions.
I'm not fucking leaving! The show goes on! This is my home! They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here.
So you'll spend a lot of time actively doing assignments, experiments, stressing over grades, and not to mention life, like rent, food, and worrying about catching the bus or waking up earlier if you're not as fortunate to live on campus. So becoming an artist is someone who is everything about the creative world, whether it's creating something new, making something new, or even just seeing other people create new things through their own craft. Art is a continuous journey to learning how to express yourself through different mediums and really forms as a way of self-expression. There isn't really any one way to describe art, but art, in my opinion, is that feeling you get when you listen to your favorite song, or when you watch your favorite movie, or even when you see a palette of colors and you feel something that you've never felt before. And you never really know what you like about it so much, but it just gives you this sense of connection to something greater than yourself. Being an artist literally makes you feel like you're limitless and like the possibilities are endless. I mean, it starts out so small. You start your journey as a hobby, something that interests you, something that catches your attention, something that you enjoy doing. And slowly you start to, open up with your family about art. You start working with your family, then you start working with your friends, your closest friends, and then eventually you want more. And this more eventually forces you out of your comfort zone. And coming out of your comfort zone is one of the greatest things about art, because that's what it does. It teaches you to come out of your comfort zone and try new things and meet new people and hear new stories and discover new places. And without art, you probably would have never seen these things. Not only do you discover new things, but you start to appreciate smaller things in life. There's this slow process that starts to develop when you enter your journey of photography, video, or anything in the creative field. And opportunities start to arise. And what was once just a hobby is now becoming something more than just a hobby. And your passion and your love for this creative thing starts to grow. And there eventually comes a point in your life when you have to ask yourself, is this something that you want to do for the rest of your life?
E se ficar o bicho come. E sempre foi assim.
So, being an artist is super amazing because you get to see something go from an idea to meeting new people to actually executing your concept and bringing it to life. I think it's that adrenaline, that rush of being able to make something out of nothing in the time span of a week, month, or even a year. But the fact that you're able to create something new or create something in general is, I think, what really inspires a lot of people and what people really like about art in the creative world. Thoughts? So, should you do engineering school or should you do art school? In the end, college was just a privilege. And unlike you, I didn't know what I wanted to do coming out of high school. But if you're having the sense of wanting to do art or do something in the creative field coming straight out of high school, then I think you should go for it. And the reason why I say this is because you have nothing to lose. If you go broke, you can always go back to your mom's house and live there while you try to get better and build your skills up. And if you completely suck and you find yourself not really doing well or not going anywhere with that career, then you can always go back to college. A job will always be there somewhere in the globe for you. But if you're curious about doing engineering, then I would also give it a try. And I would give it a try and I wouldn't be discouraged by the difficulty and other things that come with it. Because like I said, it was a very bittersweet reward. And just because it's difficult, which is really not that difficult, or just because something is difficult, doesn't mean that it's impossible. You have to realize that millions of other people have done this before us and they're no better than you. They just gave it a try and had patience and took the time to learn what it is that they had to learn. So I hope this video was helpful in some way. I hope you got something out of it. And if you did like the video, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.